Next up, let's welcome to the stage Amanda Hufford. And last, but certainly not least, let's welcome to the stage Cheryl Texiera. Good morning, everyone. How are we all feeling?
Hello. Feeling so good. My mic's on.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Doing great. The mic is on.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. All right. So first of all, we're kind of just going to go down the line and talk a little bit about yourself and how you got into voice acting.
Well, like Theo said, my name's Lizzie Freeman. I've done a lot of voiceover over the past maybe 8 years or so. You might know me from things like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as Trish Una, or Chisato in Licorice Recoil, and most of you probably know me as Pomni from The Amazing Digital Circus. And I moved to LA in 2016, and somehow it worked out.
Somehow it worked out by just magically being massively talented. It somehow worked out. Thank you so much for that incredible intro. You were absolutely amazing. I am Amanda Hufford. You probably know me as the voice of Bragatha from The Amazing Digital Circus, among other things. I, like a lot of us, come from stage musical theater, and so I've been acting for forever. And it accidentally turned into voiceover. Someone literally saw me on stage and said, I like this wacky guy's vibe. Why don't you come do some voices for me? And I went, what's that? And then it snowballed. Here I am.
I love it. So I'm originally from New York. I as well did theater, owned a theater company, moved out here. And then I did a bunch of on-camera TV, film, and then after Girl Meets World wrapped, my manager introduced me to a voiceover agent, and she just basically threw a whole bunch of things at the wall, and video games kind of stuck, but I've also done a bunch of cartoons and whatnot, and here we are. That's kind of how that happened.
Alright, so today's panel will basically just be a general voiceover Q&A. Feel free to also ask questions of like video game voiceover versus like animation voiceover. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the audience. Show of hands, and I'll come with you with the microphone. If you don't want a microphone in your face, ask me, and I'll be happy to ask your question for you. Anyone want to start us off? If not, I've got more stuff for you. Thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions? You, right there.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
This is just a question I just ask in general. To the three of you, are you a dog person or a cat person? It just tells me a lot about a person.
Why do I have to choose? You
I
can love
pick
them
both.
all.
You can pick both. You can
Todo. All the animals.
I would say I'm more so a cat person, but I do like dogs as well.
Well, I would say I'm more so a dog person, but I do like cats as well.
Oh my goodness, and then I'm just a blend of both of them because
And
I
you're in
like
the middle.
all of them.
We're very well balanced.
We are
panel.
perfectly balanced
Oh my
here. Look at
goodness.
this.
Good energy.
That was a strong hand. That went right
I
up.
was wondering, how do I change my voice to like voice acting and stuff like that?
How do you train your voice as a voice actor? Is that the question? Wow, there are a lot of things that you could do to work on that. I would say if you want to be a voice actor, the most important thing you can do is get into acting in any capacity. Learn how to interact and perform in general. Now, if you're talking about doing wacky, silly sounds, that's something that comes later after you learn how to do characterization. But it's really about learning different placements for your vocal cords and how to do it safely so you don't hurt yourself. Yeah. But that'll come later. I would say take improv.
Or theater. We are all theater kids up here, I'd like to think, yeah. And also, like Amanda said, it'll come later, but singing practice can help you train how to place your voice as well.
And how old are you, hon? 10. You're 10. That's such a great age. Yeah. Look at that round of applause. Okay. 2 whole hands, girl. Love that. So when I was 10, really quick, a friend of mine and I grabbed a tape recorder, and in the back of the classroom, we put on our own radio show that nobody listened to but us, but it was amazing. and we would interview guests where we would play different characters, and it was just the two of us having fun with each other, and that's a great place to start. Okay.
That is the most heartwarming story.
Oh, we have a follow-up.
Just talking about training your voices or whatever, I've seen some voice actors online that talk about how, like, if you want a British accent, you need to slow down and do this. I mean, how do you learn all those techniques? Like all the different types of...
You're talking about
accents?
learning the
Yes.
music of another accent.
Yes.
Listen to those accents. I would listen to shows or podcasts, anything where native speakers are speaking. And you just kind of, you learn the intonation of how they speak and the way they shape their vowels. It's just the same way that we learn to speak as kids. You need to hear it.
And mimic it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mimic it. Like, if you hear parts of characters, you can always try doing their voices, and that can help train.
How is it working in the voice acting and animation industry, like as a whole? Like, is it good, bad, iffy?
It's like a stampede came in right as you started talking. I'm so sorry. Can we get a repeat on that?
Get right on the
Just
mic.
so uncomfortably
How
close.
is it working in the animation industry and like the voice acting industry? Is it good, bad, iffy?
I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah,
Very fun.
amazing.
I've kept at it, and I plan on doing it for the rest of my life, so it must be pretty fun.
It's a fantastic time, especially when you get to work with other people who are so passionate about what they do. I think that's the greatest thing, and some of the most passionate creators I've met are in the animation industry, and I love that.
I feel like if you are in it for the right reasons, it's something you genuinely love, then you're gonna have a good time.
Get those hands
We've
up.
got a
Let's
hand
see.
in the back there, Zio. Do you see the hand in the back?
Someone's got the
mic and he's taking a
Hello?
photo or a video. Something is happening.
We're ready to talk to you.
Yes, I was wondering, do y'all got any like funny behind the scenes stories when voice acting?
Man, I'm so sorry. I must be half deaf from lack of sleep.
They're
One more
asking
time.
if you have any funny behind-the-scenes stories.
Just so many.
Any that are appropriate to share.
You go first, Lizzie.
Okay, I know you've heard this story before, Amanda, I'm sorry. But while we were recording the later half of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, it was during the pandemic, like the height of the pandemic. So we were recording from home, and I was in my walk-in closet, and at the time, my boyfriend was working overnight shifts. So he was asleep when I was working on the episode where Trish and Mista swapped bodies. Which came with a lot of very funny dialogue that I cannot repeat in here, but my boyfriend heard all of it out of context through the closet door, which was very amusing.
Incredible. Sorry, Lizzie, you've also heard this one before, but it's at least age appropriate. Many moons ago, when I too was recording in a less secure space, in an apartment, I was doing the standard, not video game thing, where you have to do death rattles.
Oh, yeah, this is kind of, keep going.
Dying and screaming in pure guttural pain, many times. And I step out of the closet, not for the first time in my life, and I'm exhausted, and I get a knock on the door, but not a little knock, a full, the police knock. I open it. Hi, officer. What's going on? What's the matter? We got a call about a disturbance at this residence. Is everything okay? It's fine. I was at work. I'm alive, as you can see. There's no blood. Everything's fine. I scared my neighbors, petrified them. They truly thought they were listening to someone being axe murdered in their closet. Which technically, that kind of worked.
Mine is very similar to that, except we got ahead of it, and my husband went next door when we lived in a condo to the neighbor, and he goes, "Hey, you might hear my wife screaming. said, she's fine. She's just recording a voiceover. And I was like, I'm fine. It's gonna sound crazy, but I'm fine. So yeah, he's done it a few times now, whenever he's on like a work call and I'm recording something in my studio. So yeah, it's fun.
Did they ever tell you to blink twice if you need help?
Right.
She's fine. What you're hearing, not a big deal.
Yeah.
I was wondering,
I would love to know what you were wondering, but unfortunately that might cut out.
okay. I was wondering what you cherish most when it comes to being voice actor and being able to embody characters. Sorry, it's...
I think what I cherish most is when the fans share stories with me on how the things I've worked on have impacted their life in a positive way. For me, recently there was this lady, she must have been about in her maybe late 50s or 60s, and she lost complete control of one of her hands. And the way she was able to get back the movement in her hands and coordination was playing video games. And one of those games she played a lot was one that I was in, and she always played with my character. And it just really warmed me up and reminded me what we do, like what the impact we make.
It's so beautiful. I mean, exactly. It's you guys. You guys are what make this so impactful and so wonderful. Looking in the audience and seeing an immaculately dressed human who looks exactly like one of my characters is pretty much the coolest thing in the entire world, especially when she's not looking at me. And she looks amazing. But it's you guys. You make everything so worthwhile. You give us the opportunity to be up here.
Yeah. Same.
Get those hands up high. Let's see who else has questions.
And there's one in the back. I see her. She's
Oh, I
shy.
see.
She's doing the thing. But I see it. I saw you.
So I wanted to ask, what is the most challenging part about doing auditions, and typically how long do they tend to go whenever you do like an audition for one character per se?
I think it all depends on how much information we're given, and then how much we choose to put into it. Because I've had auditions basically take an hour or take 5.5 minutes. Yeah. So when we get it, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the amount of information that we'll get on a character really varies. We'll either get a booklet of this is the entire world, and it could take a half hour to read the booklet before you even get on the mic. Or you could get no information, a name, and then like they're agitated, and a line.
The most generic text ever.
So generic, and they're like, have fun with it. So it really varies, yeah.
Yeah, or even just the length of the audition itself. I did a 12-page one the other day, and I was like, you're not listening to all of this. You're not listening to all 12 pages of this, but I'm gonna do it.
Well, and it's like sometimes we get an audition for like a preschool show. That's gonna take me about 5 minutes. It's not very deep, as opposed to something like a AAA video game. That might take me about an hour.
Yes, so I want you to simultaneously imbue 15 different emotions into this 3-word line. Give it your best. Sometimes it takes some time.
So for someone who's...
You take your time. We got all day.
So what equipment would you recommend for someone who's just trying to get into voice acting? You know, stuff that they can use to just start practicing before they're even ready to like audition for things, just so they get used to hearing their own voice.
The iPhone.
Honestly, yeah. I started recording on my little tiny flip phone when I was in high school. And like Cheryl said, you just had a tape recorder.
Yeah.
So whatever you have, and there are great.
Yeah.
How dare you? we all know. We all still
we
have
put
tape
a tape
recorders.
in,
I
and
have
we
one.
closed it, and then
There are also great resources online. If you've heard of voiceactingclub.com, there's an article on there Thank you.
Oh, we have our voice acting club friends.
Hi,
over here.
guys.
Hello, friends.
There's an article on there all about equipment and gear that you can get and the prices it ranges. So you can research that and see what works for you. Also, the classic starter mic, the Blue Snowball. Not for professional work, but good to start with.
Classic starter
Honestly,
mic.
if your goal right now is to get used to hearing your voice, I wouldn't even worry about your equipment. I would start with reading to yourself out loud. Pick a book, pick a magazine, anything. Just start reading and talking out loud. It's kind of funny, when you're in voiceover, you have to relearn your voice and the way that you speak and the way that you sound. Set your phone down, narrate to yourself. Eventually, you'll learn that, you'll get more comfortable. And then when you're ready, you think, oh, I want to start auditioning and meeting people. Head on over to casting club and casting call club, because I can talk, and voice acting club. And you can try those things out. But just talk to yourself.
Another question is, what is your go-to voice style when you don't know anything about the character?
Hitting us with these good questions.
That is a good question. That's a nugget. These are going to be nuggets that we're going to give.
Indeed. Yes.
I feel okay. So what's interesting about the voiceover world is, and I guess the acting world in general, is it finds the pocket that it wants you to be placed in. So when you start, because you just throw everything at the wall, you try all of your zany voices, all different ranges in your tone that you can try, and then something's gonna land, something's gonna stick, and it's gonna be like the money pocket, where people just like it, and that is gonna be your go-to. So for me, I either range a little bit more nasal, but really, really clear, kind of like a teenager, like, hey, what's going on? Or I go like straight down, like, what's going on? Hey, get really up on the mic. So those are my two go-tos.
Yeah. We have very similar go-tos.
Oh my God, stop
Matter
it.
of fact, yeah, it's really about learning your wheelhouse. So I call them my tool belt characters. When you learn your voice and you know it really well, you kind of have these archetypes in your head, and you think, okay, this is character B that's in my head, but lower, and you can kind of shift them around to make them fit. So it's like you have a starting point, and you play around with that, and you figure out your wheelhouse. And much like my gorgeous friend over here, I tend to go all the way down here, very serious all the time. A little bit Jennifer Hale. People like this one a lot. Or I do wacky, zany, silly stuff up here, which is no in between.
You know, like Cheryl said, it kind of finds you. When I first started out, I thought I would be playing all of the young kids and everything, which I do. I do play a lot of the young kids, but I find mostly I'm cast as like just the teenage anime girls. That's my bread and butter right there.
I mean, you sound great right there.
Thank you. It's mostly my natural voice I'm cast for.
Oh, no way.
Hi again.
Hi.
So, as someone who is trying to become a voice actor, I think one of my main concerns is that, do you really have to like travel as a voice actor, or is it something that you can do remotely at home?
That is a question, and it depends entirely on what you want to do. I will say that voice acting, much like the majority of the entertainment industry, is constantly evolving, and it is very different now than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Depends on what you want to do. There's a good voice acting scene here in Texas. It's not necessarily the easiest to break into, but if that's what you want to do and you want to be here, if you want to do cons, you can do cons. If you don't want to do cons, you don't have to. You want to move to LA and do the stuff that's there, you can do that. There's also a hub in New York, there's a hub in Atlanta. You can kind of plant yourself. You can be somebody who travels. You don't have to. It just depends on you, but keep in mind that where you're at will dictate what is open to you. And, you know, you might be limited if you don't travel, but that isn't obligatory. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. I just have a fear of driving long distances.
Well, I'd say there is still opportunity to work remotely. The indie scene, there's open casting calls you can find on Twitter or on castingcall.club, things like that. But if you want to be doing the anime or video games and things, that's going to be in LA or Texas for the most part.
And I would say since 2020, remote has really kind of increased significantly as long as your setup is studio grade quality. So it would just all be about making sure that you sound professional so that they could take your voice and whatever you submit for your audition even, and they could throw it on the radio or throw it into a TV commercial or TV show, whatever it is. It just needs to be studio grade quality.
All right, thank you.
Is that a hand?
Questions?
Oh,
That was like a-
fancy jacket.
Oh, it's very metallic.
Well, I heard about your wanted to look appropriate, so. Sorry. Welcome to Houston, by the way. You guys are having I don't know what's up with this microphone. So I got two questions.
Two questions.
There it is.
First question, do you find it's more fun to play an established character or something that you kind of get to create? And second question, what would you like to do moving forward in your career that you haven't done?
I like to build a character up from the ground. I like to build a new character because it's all me. All my choices, all the fun things that came out of my head. And then the second question, what was that again? Was something I want to do that I haven't done yet? Listen, I get in the moment, okay? I live in the moment. I'm like a cat. The second question is I want to, it is my goal. I want to be a recurring character in an animated series on a cable network or streaming service.
You're so succinct. I feel like my brain is pure chaos, which is probably why I prefer to also create my own characters. I know some voice actors are very talented at impressions or sitting in the pocket of something that already exists, and man, do I respect and idolize that. That's not me. Not very good at that. So I prefer to create something for myself, and a goal. Oh, this kind of sounds happy. My goal is to just continue doing exactly what I'm already doing. I'm so happy and getting to work with people like these guys. Stop! Don't clap for me! Don't make me feel emotions! Stop it!
I think, yeah, building a character from the ground up. I think because we are artists, so just seeing what the animators have done and then leaning into that one way or another is definitely the most enjoyable. I just had a daughter, so when it comes to career, I'm kind of, I think for me, I'm just hitting pause and taking a breath, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah.
That's beautiful, and honestly, really good for you to actually do that, so you can take care of yourself and your family.
Thank you.
I love it. The present, baby.
If there was a casting call for a video game you loved, of your dreams, what would you pick and why? If there was a casting call for a video game that you've been dying to try, which would it be?
The Super Mario series.
Oh.
Yes, I want to be a Mario princess. Daisy.
I'd cast you as Daisy.
I would take any of them though.
Oh, that's amazing. I suppose, honestly, because it's one of the first big narrative games that I fell in love with, I would love to be in Mass Effect.
Woo! Gosh, I really don't know. I wish I had an answer for this. I think I'm really excited about when things find me. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Being open to what comes your way. I think that's fun.
Yeah. I think more than anything, though, I would love to get back in the studio with other actors, because that's just, I don't know about you guys, it hasn't happened since COVID. So hopefully, to do a cartoon in some sort of way where we actually play off of each other.
Alright, I'll take a moment and ask a question. Sort of. If you could ask yourself if you could give your young self a piece of advice when you were first starting out, what would you tell yourself?
Follow your intuition. Listen to yourself. Don't do things because it's what you're supposed to do. Because I did that for years, and it led me to different choices that held me back.
That is a tough one. There are so many things that you could go back and say, right? And I think honestly, I would say something that I've already been telling myself for a very long time. Keep doing what you're doing. Trust yourself.
Don't take advice from someone who is not in a position that you would want to be in. If they have not walked, the path that you're eager to walk yourself, it does not matter how wise their advice might be, they do not know. Find someone who actually has done what you want to do, ask them.
Already having perfect mom knowledge.
Oh, thank you.
That was incredible. I feel inspired.
See you back there. I think I'm gonna do you back there first.
So would you?
Do you want mine? I can share.
The question is, do you think fandoms is a viable start to attempt to get into voice acting?
It's a good way to get experience. Don't put it on your resume, but it's a good way to get experience. I started doing that when I was a teenager.
A lot of people do that. I'm not sure if you're a part of some of that discourse of people saying, oh, don't do fandoms because blah, 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 blah. It's wonderful. Anything you can do to get experience, to learn about yourself and your voice, express your skills as a performer, fantastic.
I'll probably just be the guy shouting for a moment.
Do you want my microphone? I can share.
I like to draw, I like to sing, I like to play video games, I like to snuggle my cat, I like to take long walks on the beach.
Ditto. I have ADHD, so my hobby is collecting hobbies. If there's a craft, I do it. I also sing, play video games, do all the typical brain rot things. I read a lot.
I also collect Gothic Victorian antiques, in case you couldn't tell by my Dahmer glasses. Thank you so much.
I would say reading and DIY projects, like too many DIY projects, yeah.
Also, I'm a doll collector.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Your dolls are so cool.
That sure is a question you asked. It's a big question.
What, just to clarify, what are
What
our
are our
thoughts
opinions on AI?
on AI?
Yeah.
Personally, people are probably not going to like me for saying this, I don't think it has a place in the voiceover industry. Thank you. Or the animation industry, or writing, or...
I think there's a really important distinction that needs to be made when we're talking about AI. And that is about the kind of AI Lizzie's talking about, and then AI as an aid. We are already using AI and have been using AI for things, even in voiceover, like editors have it in their software to cut breaths out of our takes, right? That saves an editor time. That's an aid to someone who already has a job, helps them do that job and keep that job, which is different than stealing artists' work and putting people out of jobs with AI. I think it would be very ableist to say that you can't use aids. There are aids, and that's what AI should be used for. It is okay to utilize those things, make technology work for you. What's not okay is to steal other people's creativity, their livelihood, their soul, and then say you made something new with it.
I think it's an advancement in technology that we can't get away from, so we are going to figure out a way to work with it. And that's why right now all of the provisions that we're putting in place as much as we can are so important, and that's why we have collectively as an entertainment industry been so vocal about where we stand on it. So that's, I do believe like in the future we're gonna see us working with AI hand in hand, and we're gonna have the provisions that we need. So I'm a firm believer in that. I'm optimistic.
I love your optimism. That is why we're striking. I think I only heard about 50% of what you said.
Yeah, okay, so my question is, obviously we as fans agree with you that AI has no place in animation, voiceover, and all that. What can we as fans do to support you in that quest to get rid of it, or minimize it?
What you're already doing. People are already speaking about the fact that they're not interested in that kind of content, and you show the people who want to use it to make money that they won't make money with it, then they won't care. They're only invested in it as far as it can benefit them. So if you are a proactive consumer of media and you're careful about what you spend your money and your time investment on, that's what we need.
All right, I'm gonna snipe another question. When you're in the booth and being given direction from a director, what are some things that directors have done that you like, and what are some things directors have done that annoy you?
Ask for like 72 takes of the same line.
Yeah.
That would be a dislike. And then I really like it when a director has a vision and also understands more of the story, because again, as a voiceover artist, you're not necessarily given the full context of the story. You're not necessarily given the full script. In fact, very rarely are you ever given a full script. So you don't know the arc of your character. So when a director can give me more context of what my character is going through, has just gone through, so that I can make a more interesting, distinct choice, that's what I prefer.
Okay, there's something called line reading where I don't necessarily hate line reading. That's not the problem. But when that is your fallback directing style, then you question my skills as an actor, asking me like, how long have you been acting? Where'd you learn your acting? Things like that. That starts to get under my skin. Just a little bit.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I find it frustrating when directors will say, give me another, give me another, give me another, with no direction. I'm not saying I want to do it 72 times, but I will do it 72 times if you give me 72 different directions, or even 42, and we're repeating some of them. If you know and you're leading me to a place, you just have to show me that I can trust you. Right? Because you're the one in charge happening. I need to be able to trust you. That's really all I want. Similarly, things that I really love that directors are able to do is they set up your sandbox, but they know when to let you play. They don't over direct. They're like, you were cast for this role, you are bringing something to it naturally. This is where you can play, this is where you might need more context. It's just nice to have somebody who knows and has that vision, because we don't get a lot of context as voice actors, sometimes at all. I saw a question over there, right over there.
I'll get back to you too.
Oh, right behind the blinding lights, but I saw you.
Oh, testing 1, 2. Okay, awesome. I love it. Okay. What would you say?
Marketing.
Singing.
People skills. Honestly, you need good people skills.
And tenacity. Just keep going.
Resilience. Oh, we're throwing out some nice little adjectives here.
Okay. When you audition, what was the worst audition instructions you got, like in the script, and how did you make it work?
There's nothing I love more than a confusing brief. Sometimes you will get auditions and you read the character description, the brief, and you go, that's weird. Those two things are opposite. That doesn't sound like the same character at all. And so something that one of my favorite teachers that I've ever worked with told me a long time ago was, often briefs are confusing because they're not necessarily written by performers or even the people who are crafting these narratives that you're going to play in. Trust the line. You trust what the line says because the line is spoken from the character, of the character. Read the line, what makes sense in that, and then use what makes sense from the brief and throw away what doesn't.
One thing that, just to clarify, voiceover versus on camera or theater, I don't know about you guys, but since 2020, I haven't gone into the studio to audition. It's all been from home, and it's all just been kind of a blind audition where here's what we're looking for, here are the specs, throw a voice down, send us an MP3. So yeah, just in case, yeah, that was curious.
Yes, that's 100%. Yeah, 10 out of 10. They're both on this stage.
So she asked if there are any voice actors we want to work with. I would second Amanda's answer. But also, Jeff Bennett. I want to work with Jeff Bennett. He's so fun.
Okay.
His
yeah.
acting choices, like his comedic acting is some of the best in the animation industry, I think.
That's a great pull. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna second Amanda's answer here. It's pretty sweet.
Oh my god.
There are so many actors that I want to work with, but one that just pops up. I mean, I've worked with her in one way, but I would love to work with Debbie Derryberry. Yeah, and then also Kathy Bates. She's obviously a brilliant actress, but she also does voiceover quite a bit. So yeah.
God, you guys have great pulls. I'm sticking with my answer though. I mean it. Yeah. The people on the stage. Also, everybody over there in Actors Alley, if you haven't gone over to talk to any of those other incredible actors, every single one of them, I would work with all the Jeremys.
We've got a hand up here. Oh, we've got a hand.
Oh, right up front.
Endless.
I'm so tired.
How much time do you think you have left in life? Double it. That's the amount you have to give.
I mean, it's our career, so it's like any job. It's gonna be a lifetime commitment.
Are you talking about more for auditions or for the pursuit of it, for researching stuff? Sorry? The pursuit of it? Oh, I can't even begin to put a time frame on that. Yeah, if you want, just start the clock and go, and then go.
Everyone's journey is different.
That is a really important note. Seriously, especially in voiceover, there is not one way to gain success in a career like this. There just isn't. Each one of us on this stage have wildly different stories, and we're all here. If it's something that you're interested in, just go. Just do it. Do it now. Leave this con. Go start right this second. Do it. Do it!
More hands. See you.
I'm just...
Oh.
So you said you're tired. I'm guessing a lot of you get tired of voicing. How do you manage to take care of your voice? Like, let's say, like you've been in the booth for so long and your throat is like just really scratchy. How do you take care of that?
To be fair, I am also a new mom, so that could definitely lead into why. Like vocal, like taking care of your voice.
Yes.
Warming it up helps. Warm drinks help. Rest helps.
I would say preventative measures, not straining your throat, using your diaphragm to support projection so you don't get your voice as tired as quickly. And yes, proper rest between recording. Give yourself like 24 hours sometimes if you need to just not talk at all.
Preventative is the most important thing you can do. You need to learn proper breath support. You need to learn how to strengthen the muscles around your vocal cords. You need to warm up. There are movements that you can do in between sessions, like blowing through a really tiny coffee straw that helps reset your vocal cords. All of these things are amazing. But if you're already at the point where your voice hurts, stop talking immediately. There is nothing else you can do to heal and to stop talking. Go on full vocal rest. Whispering is terrible for your voice. Don't try to push through it. Just stop so you don't scar your vocal cords.
And one quick piece of advice that I got early on in my career that I really loved and still listen to today is, if it hurts, don't do it. Because when you audition for so many things, you want to do all of these zany characters, whatever it is. If you find a voice, or if you're screaming or doing something that's vocally straining for you specifically, and you can't recover immediately from it, just don't do it. Because there is going to be someone who can do exactly what you're trying to achieve that's hurting you, that does it in their sleep. So just trust that, move on to the next.
Yeah, I can never tell the difference when I'm using my diaphragm and hurting my voice.
Start singing.
Yeah,
It will
take
teach you
singing
the
lessons.
difference.
Take singing lessons.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I have a bit of a follow-up to that, because that was basically the question I was going to ask if people ran out of questions. If you're practicing or just starting out, what is probably the upper limit that you would recommend for somebody for a given session of like playing with their voice, or
Trust your body. Yeah, just how you physically feel. And that is something you also have to kind of learn your limits, right? Because sometimes you don't realize you're hurting until you've already hurt. So start slow, right? But I think that advice, not doing something that is strenuous, stick to the things that you can do for a couple of hours and go, oh no, I'm still fine. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's like screaming and grunting in something and you feel like you can sustain it for about 2 hours, you're good. But a 4-hour session, you'd have to max out at 2, and that would just be something that you would negotiate.
Hello? There we go. This is not necessarily a question. I just wanted to say that you guys are amazing people in the place. You have inspired many people, but it especially inspired me to go ahead and try. I just wanted to say that. Oh, that's amazing!
That is so sweet.
Stop!
That just warmed up my heart. Thank you.
Oh, so kind.
And now I'm about to ask something very, very unsweet. Sorry. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Veronica Taylor situation that happened a little while ago?
No. I don't know who it is or what any of that is. No, sorry.
All right, we're gonna move on. Do we?
Any more questions? Get those hands up, raise them high so we can see. Thank you so much.
Hello, testing. I'll give y'all a choice for this. What would y'all say is y'all's most memorable or challenging scene or role in any animation or acting or TV that you've done?
Yeah, I got one. Most challenging is hard. there are lots of challenges, and they're challenging in different ways. But a recent one I will give you. I had to do for a that I was in recently. There was a very impactful emotional revelation for a character, and I had to do a full breakdown. And I wasn't totally warned about the content of this breakdown before I got in the booth. So some of it was a little real, but it was navigating those emotions in that moment, learning how to make sure it was still channeled in the character correctly. Sometimes you think, as an actor, finding the emotions is the hard part, but it isn't always exactly that. Sometimes it's making sure that you put them in the right place. Or for people like me, I feel big. Naturally, I got big emotions all over the place. So making sure that they come out correctly for the character, that it isn't just me overshadowing what the character would be doing in that moment. And so there was a little bit of back and forth in my mind for that, finding my footing at first. But then I think the scene came together really, really well. So,
I love that. That's so, no, because it's so true. Because sometimes, you're going through a process of yourself. You've attached yourself to something that the character's going through individually, and you're like, well, this is how I would handle it. But pausing and being like, but hang tight. I'm not being me, I'm playing someone else. And so you have this entire toolbox, you're like, I can really go there because I've got all of this. And then fine-tuning the dial. I love that, that's such good advice. It's such a good reminder, it really is. I would say it's the most challenging role is, I feel like I've talked about a number of things, so I'm gonna change the story. And I'm just gonna say one thing that it was challenging, but I didn't know it in the moment, and when I look back, it was really just a great training ground, was when I wouldn't say starting out, but when I was getting my foot in TV, on camera, and just making, basically building those relationships with casting directors. I took casting directing workshops 4 to 5 days a week for an entire year. And the way that workshops worked back then, you would get copy, and it could range anywhere from 2 pages to 8. Sometimes I got a 13-page thing. And you had 15 minutes to prepare. Make your choice, and then you perform in front of the casting director, and they will remember you. And they could literally give you an opportunity off of that 15-minute prep. And so because I did it so much, that was my go-to. It was like, cool, I need 15 minutes to prepare. I would get off book, I would make my choices, and I would throw down a performance. And what was wonderful about that was really leaning into trusting your instincts. And that plays a crucial role in the voiceover world, because there is no time. You get an entirely new script that you didn't see prior to your session. You need to make those choices, you need to trust your instincts. So that's what I would share.
Trusting your instincts, really. A lot of the time, it's my first take they go with. But we're going to talk about the most challenging role that I've played. Has anyone here seen the anime Inspector? Yes. So I like to call it Exposition, the anime. I play the main character, and she literally talks from beginning to end, almost every episode. And it's an anime. So, syncing to all that dialogue, to lip flaps, and the timing was like, it was an anime, what's the word I'm looking for? Crash course, honestly. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted hearing that you did that.
Hi.
I wanted to say that once this is over, I'm gonna show you something.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't. Oh, I love it. I can't wait.
Thank you.
All right, we got more questions. We have time for maybe a couple more. See you.
Fernando has a question.
I like your shirt.
Hi, Amanda. We meet again. All right, I got a question.
As an actor, we are basically known as creating the character that was released for entertainment purposes. So my question is, throughout your entire project that you've ever done, is there any character that you
Lizzie is staring at me and I can't imagine why. Well, golly gee gosh, guys. Of course, Ragatha, I don't know, maybe I have caretaking trauma. There's a little piece of you in all of your characters. It's hard to say that. It's like you're telling me to choose between my children. Because on one hand, obviously I'm Ragatha. I'm very close with my family. I'm very much a caretaking kind of person. I like to make sure the people around me are taken care of. But also, sometimes I really just don't care anymore. And I just want to put them through a wall. I can relate to Rebel from Date Everything, which is coming out soon, a lot. So I'd say those two. Stop clapping for me, how dare you.
I mean, I am Pomni. Like, she is me, I am her.
And our friendship is Ragatha Pomni.
What? No, I reciprocate. We're friends.
No, she does. She's amazing. She's the best.
I think, honestly, playing Gwenpool felt the closest with how fun and bubbly, like, and sarcastic she was, like, to my core. Yeah, that one was really fun.
I can see that. It's in your personality. You were so fun.
Yeah, thanks.
Or question if anyone's gone. Yep, I see you.
Hi, I love. I wanted to say, are there any characters that
I'm gonna say it again. I said this back at another panel, but it's true. Rasputin from Anastasia.
Ooh.
My goodness.
You know what?
Or Ursula.
I'm really glad that you said that. I would love, in some form or fashion, this is so stupid, to one day be the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera.
Ooh.
I want to be the Phantom.
Can I be your Christine?
Please?
I don't know if I
sure.
can play Christine though. I don't have an opera voice.
I was gonna say, I'm like, do you have that range?
No.
Okay. You sang to me. Sorry. Yes. Anyway, go Lizzie.
Okay, if we're gonna talk about theater, I have 2 dream roles. I want to play Red Riding Hood in Into the Woods. Before I ate out of it. And then I want to play Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors.
You would be the perfect Audrey. Can I be your Seymour?
Yes.
What?
Thoughts.
Oh, okay. Listen, thoughts.
If this is a goal or a passion of yours, don't think, just act. Just literally dive right into it. Yeah, you'll learn as you go.
No thoughts, head empty.
Head always empty. Yes. Exactly that. Exactly that. Just go do it. You all are amazing. Thank you for putting up with our silly antics and making it possible for us to be here. This is fantastic.
We'd love to see you guys and chat with you. We're going to be at our table, so feel free to stop by.
Thank you guys.